Welcome, Scorpio, to your forecast, Astro Tarot forecast, involving the transit of Uranus into Gemini, which is your 8th house. So I'd like to talk about it a little bit more generally first, its effects on the world at large, on the masses, and on society. All the different cultures around the world will be very much affected by this particular transit of Uranus. Uranus is a planet symbolic of radical change, sudden radical change. And its energy is explosive. It always upsets the apple cart, turning over all the apples so that you can identify which ones are good and which ones are not. In Gemini, it affects the mind of man, the mind of the masses, and it's an intellectual evolution, an evolution of mind that's coming. It will bring about those aspects of Gemini that are profoundly influential for our times. Gemini implies changes in communication, technology, transportation, trade, social awareness. Its primary motivation, symbolically, is freedom, individuality. And it occurs to me that this is the precipice that humanity stands on right now. To stay in the social structure that is very centralized, top-down governing of the people, to another stage of decentralization, where the individual becomes the sovereign, the king, the queen, the self-governed. So I believe this is heralding in a new world order. And though it has very dystopian possibilities, greater surveillance through the technological advances of AI, very Gemini, to the introduction of digital currencies into the market, into the arena of trade. There is a definite war that's going to go on between the previous system of centralization into a new system of multipolar network interactions that have worldwide implications. To join the coming revolution of freedom seeking. We as human beings are always seeking more and more freedom, but this next 7 years is going to be when the rubber meets the road, as they say, because the attempt from the old order, that's the Uranus and Taurus, just previously, where the control factors were far more becoming more evidenced as time went on. We are now going to see a counter-revolution of that. So you'll see many borders and boundaries of countries changing. And governing agencies, their structures are going to also change, as well as I say, currency. There's going to be an attempt to bring a sort of the surveillance currency in, but there'll be a counter movement against that. So we'll see this battle play out on a global scale. Now, you as a Scorpio generally are more reticent to participate in the external rapid changes that are going on. You preserve the past. You're the most conservative, perhaps, of the water signs. And but in this instance, we'll throw that out the window too, because you see, Uranus is transiting into Gemini, and Gemini is your 8th house. And the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. So it's almost as if it's going into your 1st house because it will affect your identity. And it will challenge your values and your long-held beliefs and ideas, particularly in relationship to a partnership, be that business, romantic, whatever the emotional relationship is. It's creating a partnership with someone that will undergo some changes as well. So you might be experiencing new relationships, new connections that speak to who you are more directly. Perhaps you've had relationships where you were different, but those differences were what actually attracted you. But in this period, you'll be attracted to those who are reflective of your deepest desires. Because this is the house of intimacy, sex. Sex not necessarily per se, but of course could be, but sex in life drive. What drives your life? Where is your most passionate concern? And that will undergo some transformation. You see, and all these things may be leading to a complete different lifestyle, which is incorporating the changes that are taking place on a more worldwide level, cultural level, incorporating those into your partnerships, into your choice of whom you want to share your resources with. It's very financial too, you know. And your financial landscape could undergo some major changes, probably tending to the better, because it's sort of sudden explosive influx of monies that could come from inheritance, because this is the house of death. Which reminds me, I'm 73. I have Scorpio rising. So I have Uranus going into my 8th house of death. And at this age, what you end up doing is considering the real possibility of this 7 years being the period in which I decide to exit one way or another. But generally when Uranus is governing the scene, it's usually sudden and unusual. So for me, it's a very reflective. And what consciousness of death does, and why it is a symbol in tarot, is because when you contemplate an end to your existence, then you're made to consider life, which is on the other side, much more reverently, much more lovingly, seeing the importance of life when you may lose it soon. So it puts weight, gravity, onto the everyday as well, at least for me. Now, many of us are perhaps in this age category who might empathize with what I'm saying. So let's move on now to the actual tarot forecast. I only choose one card to make life simple for me and to allow it to indicate more directly the message being delivered about a very long period of time. All right, so wait for that. Let's start your tarot forecast. Let me pull the camera down a bit. There you go. All right. So, yes, a very powerful transit indeed is coming up for us, Scorpio. And so I'm just going to shuffle a little bit here, and we'll choose one card and see what this sort of arrow from our guardian angels, bow and arrow, is meant to, what message is meant to help us. We'll see. All right. I think it's very exciting, huh? 2. And we make 3 piles. The top card will be our card. Let's see what it is. Party time. What is that? Collaboration. The sharing of joy. The sharing of talents and skills. Community. Sisterhood. The celebration of life events, weddings, births, and the recognition of the value of one another in community. Collaborative efforts. So you might be experiencing collaborative efforts and being able to align with those who are supportive, and contribute to your emotional well-being. This is one of the most beautiful cards representing celebration, a celebration of life in all its aspects. This is a recognition of the need for one another and the beauty of sisterhood or brotherhood, not treating one another as a rival or a competitor, but to align with others and to unite with them to create peace, love, and emotional fulfillment. So this will be a grand journey in which you hold hands with those who are of like mind, like spirit, like heart. And you create beauty, which becomes a celebration of your life and a letting go of self-doubt, self-recrimination, and metamorphizing. You see, because it's the 8th house of death, metamorphosis. We become the butterfly. So I believe when it was in Taurus, we were in the chrysalis stage. And so we are about to spread our wings and show how beautiful we all are. So thank you, Scorpio, for coming to your forecast. All my love and namaste.